Man, happy Friday, guys. For some people, I guess, but damn, um, we lost another one today in the battle, or so it would seem. And we're gonna talk about the latest actions by YouTube against a fellow creator, and how I strongly disagree with them once again. I know, big shock. I know. But for those of you that missed it, Atraes has been demonetized, effectively stifling any motivation for the foreseeable future on his channel. And it's really, really shitty. So we're going to get into that. We'll talk about that tonight. It's kind of breaking news. So I wasn't prepared to really cover it. I did the best I could getting everything together before the stream. I had everything else to talk about, and then that happened, and I'm like, oh shit. So, yeah, it sucks too, because like I look forward to Fridays. I really do. Like, I feel like this is every week is a battle, and you get the weekend to kind of refresh, relax, and get back to it the following week. And this week was a pretty decent week as far as the channel is concerned, especially the live stream channel. It's been growing rapidly. It's been doing really well. Lots of views on all the videos. And really, from that perspective, I don't really have any complaints at all. I've been so blessed, fortunate, lucky. I don't know. Hard work pays off, I guess. But at the same time, I know a lot of people that work really hard that don't see the results that I've been seeing. So I'm very grateful, eternally grateful for that. But then when I see what happened to Atraes in a Thanos snap, his channel just stops. It ceases. Sure, he can still upload videos. When you are not monetized, your videos do not get pushed out the same way in the algorithm. You basically cease any kind of growth, attention, views, anything. And on top of all that, I'm genuinely concerned about Atraes's motivation after this happens, because I can tell you guys firsthand, as a smaller, struggling channel that I was for the better part of 5 or so years, 4.5, 5 years, it was really an uphill against the tide every day kind of fight. And there were many times where I thought I should stop. Like I can't keep doing this. It's how many times you're gonna bang your head against the wall before you're like, you know what? How about I just don't bang my head against the wall anymore? And I think that's kind of what YouTube wants people to do for whatever reason. It almost feels like it's trying to eliminate people unnaturally. So that happened. I also heard of Polished Productions had a video taken down related to Alyssa Mercante. I also noticed that Ryan Roger Athey was completely deplatformed just like a week and a half ago. Completely. About a month and a half before that, or 2 months before that, we had Toasty with the Mosty being demonetized on YouTube. All of these things, by the way, I cannot point to Alyssa and say for sure, because there's no way to do that. But I do find it curious that all of these people are coincidentally discussing the transgressions of Alyssa, and magically all the videos related to Alyssa are the ones being taken down, and they're the ones suffering the consequences of it. But again, I don't know if it's Alyssa doing it. She seems to act like it is her, but again, we don't know if it's her, so I can't claim that. But she has gone on the record saying that she does want to censor people. She does want to report channels, and she does want to take people down. But even with those things being said, I can't just connect it and say she's the one doing this, because then that would implicate me as saying something that might not be true. So I can't do that. I can put two and two together, and I can allow you guys to do the same, but I can't say it, because that's when you start crossing into that accusing territory of people, and I don't do that. Unlike certain people, I like to speak factually about things, and my brain has this little thing that goes off. It's like, nope, can't say that, can't say that. Um, Odin Darkle says censorship is a weapon. It absolutely is. It's the modern day weapon of online use, and it is used very effectively, some could say, by certain forces that may not have the best intentions out there. And yeah, so that happened. Um, so I guess this is not a. I don't want this to turn into a ploy for a poor me, or a beg for donations, or I'm struggling financially or anything like that, because I'm really not. I'm doing okay. I'm surviving. Every day is a challenge. Every day is a struggle, and I don't want to act like I'm better than that or anything like that. But I would also say every single one of you guys in the chat, for the most part, can relate to every day is an uphill battle against the finances of life. And I think we all understand that battle. But the reason why I even start going down that road to even say that in the first place is, if I were to ever get demonetized, it would be absolutely devastating for my family. It would absolutely, because I've built my life around this. So it is scary to see this kind of stuff happen, and almost seemingly feeling like it's an automated trigger is a very scary thing. Now, YouTube will always claim, "Oh no, it's totally people looking at stuff and definitely doing their due diligence on things." And as we found out with my Alana Pierce video, it was, yep, 5 people looked at it and they all confirmed that it's sexual and nudity, when there's no nudity and nothing sexual about it at all. To this day, like, you can read the terms of service directly and then look at my video and be like, yes, nothing in this video falls under that terms of service at all. But yet YouTube is the final say for stuff. So you can't fight against it. And it's very important to keep the freedoms of away from censorship. And I feel like that's what this channel is. Even before DEI, a lot of what this channel was founded on was fighting against censorship, not just in video games, but just on the platform in general. And Google becoming the one true, like, source of all information. You go using Google, owning YouTube, searching it in Google, and prioritizing YouTube, and basically hiding Rumble unless you type in Rumble, unless you type in Kick, unless you type in Twitch. It always prioritizes its own thing. And I look at that as, it's not very fair, because we have the world's largest search engine, uh, basically shepherding people directly to their own platform. So it puts everyone else at a disadvantage. And at this point, it's pretty obvious to me that Google itself, as a search engine, is more of a, um, what do you call it? Like a utility. It's more of a utility than than a service. It's like a phone company. It's a utility where people basically have to use it. So it's not fair to be able to funnel people directly to your own companies if everyone is using it. But we have a situation where clearly, politically, pockets have been lined, and people have been most likely paid off to stay quiet and just allow it to keep going the way it is. And now we see the cracks in the system starting to show, where people can utilize censorship as a way to ruin other people's livelihoods, uh, and their families. Everything can all fall apart in an instant. So it's really scary. Again, I'm not trying to make this about myself, but I couldn't help but think about myself when I saw this happen to Atraes. And that's really scary, because it's all on even if you feel like you're doing everything right, even if you feel like you are allowed your opinion, you're allowed to say, I feel like this is wrong. You're allowed to say what you think people are doing wrong and why you feel like they might not have the best intentions. You're allowed to say all those things, or so you'd be led to believe. But then when you start going down that path and saying things about stuff or talking about other people and what they're doing, they can then use that, turn it around as an attack, twist the words, and cry to a platform and say, oh, I'm being harassed, I'm being attacked, I'm being bullied. This is cyberbullying, this, that, the other thing, when it's like, it's not. It's absolutely not. And I watch most of Atraes' videos. I've watched most of his videos discussing specifically Alyssa Mercante, because I like to get different viewpoints from people, and I feel like Atraes is extremely fair when he talks about people. And I never once watched a video from Atraes and came away from it being like, shouldn't have said that. Ooh, yikes. That's crazy. Never once. Never once. But then again, I've seen videos get taken down from my channel that weren't against YouTube terms of service because people get their way. They twist words and they make it seem like it's something that's not. And there's no way to fight back against it. It makes you feel so helpless. I know a lot of people are like, oh, just use Rumble. Just use Rumble. Rumble's a shit show. I don't like Rumble. Like, sorry, guys. I know there are people in there that love Rumble and you really need to diversify. Use Rumble. I tried. Rumble sucks, guys. It does. Maybe Rumble will get better, but right now it sucks. I don't like using it. Even as a viewer, I feel like the experience on Rumble is not ideal. YouTube does a very good job, especially on the mobile app, to be able to play the video function and be able to multitask and do other stuff while it's going. Rumble doesn't. And maybe someday it will get there. But at this point right now, the integrations aren't there. The API does not have connections that it should. The back end is a complete shit show. I have nothing but mad respect for people like Hypnotic that multi-stream every single night, because you need to like go in manually and do it every single time you want to stream. Like with YouTube, I just click, and I'm live. Like it's like super easy, but you need to do like 25 steps to get Rumble going. And it's, to me, it's just not worth it. It's just not currently. Again, I reserve the right to change my opinion on that, but right now I do not like the current setup of it. I just don't. Spaceman says, is Ryan gone forever from YouTube? At this point, as far as I know, yes. And that's the thing. It's very demoralizing because we're not getting any answers. I feel like it's very random. People are getting like, it's like whack-a-mole where YouTube is just randomly enforcing the terms of service. And we have people that it strikes me as mass report brigading against people that associate with myself, Hypnotic, 8-Bit Eric, Varadark, J Viper. And these are all larger channels. And so far, none of the larger channels have had any massive actions taken against them, thankfully. But I do find it curious that we have a channel like Atraes that gets demonetized out of nowhere right after a week after Ryan Roger Athey gets completely booted from the platform in general. He didn't have a chance to be demonetized. He didn't have a chance to do anything. It's just channel completely gone. No explanation, no reason. It's just like, nope, you were against our policies. So I don't feel like it's very fair. It feels like they're loosely enforcing the terms of service where they want to, based off of mass false flag reports. These people are not attacking, they're not doxing, they're not doing anything illegal, they're not encouraging violence, they're not inciting violence, they're not doing anything like that. These people are these These are not enemies. These are legitimately just people talking about situations. And then we have other people that don't like what they're saying. So now they're ruining their entire channels, livelihoods, and future potential. And that's not fair at all. And I posted this to X a couple hours ago. And I said, breaking, YouTube demonetized Griff God, which is Atraes, a fantastic up-and-coming content creator who dared to share opinions and commentary on topics he found interest in. Team YouTube, please reverse this decision immediately. Atraes states it was due to Alyssa Mercante and shares some evidence. And I followed that up with, why is Team YouTube silencing Black creator voices? Which, I mean, not to pull the race card here, but he is Black. A lot of people talk about Alyssa. Why is he the one being silenced here? It makes you wonder. I mean, you got to ask those questions when this kind of stuff comes up. And this is coming from the platform of YouTube that wants to raise up marginalized voices and promote Black voices. And what's the first thing that we see happen? A Black voice trying to make progress on this platform, demonetized. Ghost 101 says he should pull the race card. I mean, it's not even one of those situations where it's like, oh, he's totally leading on a race card. It's like, no, I'm looking at this for what it is. I'm like, the only difference that I see with him compared to everything else is he's Black. That's literally the only difference. That's why I go straight to, well, what else could it be? It's very strange. It's very strange. What does Atraes do that 8-Bit Eric doesn't do? Or that I don't do? Like, what does Atraes do that stands out so much? I watch the videos and I don't see anything wild, but regardless. Atraes made a statement, and this was posted onto his YouTube channel on YouTube in his post area. It says, breaking, Alyssa Mercante has successfully got my channel demonetized. Now, to be fair, before I go on, we don't know for sure. Like, I need to cover my ass here. I'm just reading what he wrote. We don't know if it was Alyssa Mercante. And I could guarantee you, just based off of the past with the Ryan Roger Atraes stuff and the Toasty with the Mosty stuff and everyone else in the long line of other people that have been demonetized or kicked off the platform, she always come back the next day saying, oh, I had nothing to do with this. Stop blaming me. After saying that she is pro censorship and pro taking people down and pro reporting people. I mean, come on. How stupid do you think people are? What do you think it's just a coincidence at this point? Like, what are you trying to do? Today I got notifications that 3 videos were removed and all got community guideline strikes. Each of the 3 videos were all about Alyssa Mercante. The appeal has been submitted, but honestly, I have no reason to believe that they will reverse it, which is a very fair assessment based off of YouTube's past history. For those of you that don't follow how YouTube works, you can appeal it. And I would argue it's pretty much 99.9% of the time, the appeal is rejected within 2 to 3 hours of appealing. It's all automated. I would wonder if it came out tomorrow that YouTube had nobody working there. It was all just one big robot automated AI operation, and there's actually no humans there at all. I'd be like, yeah, I believe that. In fact, that doesn't surprise me at all if that's the case. I'd be more surprised if there are people working there, because holy crap. More details come tomorrow in a new video and on New Blackstreet. Our time together may be coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in private conversations with Atraes, while I don't share that with anyone, I will say the sentiment that Atraes got across to me was one of sadness and helplessness. And when this kind of stuff happens, I feel like I have a voice on this platform and I want to use it for good. And I want to try to fix the things that I can with all the power that I have. It's the same thing I did with Ryan Roger Atraes. Same thing with Toasty with the Mosty. Same thing with whoever ends up being next. I'd imagine Will of the Fans is probably the next one on their target list, because this is what they do. They just go down the list of creators and try to ruin them. It's really, really depressing. And he shared this: your channel is no longer eligible to monetize. Learn how to reapply. So the demonetization situation has banned him from the ability to have channel memberships or donations accepted on live streams, or just channel memberships in general, for 90 days. And when the 90 days is up, then you can reapply, but there's no guarantee that it will be accepted. So that's 3 months. That's a long, long, long ass time to go without monetization, especially for a channel that he streams often, multiple times a week. And he heavily relied on donations to continue the channel going. And this was a real gut punch for him. And again, my heart goes out to him because like with me, my brand has grown enough where I feel like there are other avenues that I can pursue if something like it would be devastating, don't get me wrong. But if something like this were to happen to me or Hypnotic, we could theoretically migrate 100% over to like a Rumble or something like that and still be okay. But I don't know if it would be as getting your voice out there as much as YouTube, because like I said at the very beginning, YouTube is the monopoly. They are the voice of the internet. Like, this is where people go. So if you're going to be going to an alternative area, you're going to reach less of an audience, which is just like why people use YouTube more than anything else. And that's why YouTube needs to be regulated by the government. They can't be allowed to do this kind of stuff to people. This is a utility. You're dealing with people's livelihoods just because of an automated system of mass reporting and false flagging. That's horrible. This is one of the images, which I'm going to go through this in a second. And that's Atraes right there, if you're not familiar with them. So we'll go through these images that he shared, and I blocked out his name, even though he is listed in Alyssa Mercante's lawsuit against me with his full name because she loves to dox people any way she can. This person, like genuinely, I believe with every fiber of my being, she is just not a good person. She's not a good human being. She looks for the worst in people, and she looks to ruin people's lives like every day. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. Now, Pauly Small says, I've been saying that the government needs to regulate it. I know. And I'm one of those people that says less government. I hate the government regulating stuff because it always gets worse. But this is one of those situations where I'm like, I don't think the government could be worse. I think the government regulating this would be like, no, stop doing that. You don't have the right to remove someone's voice. You don't have the right, unless they are posing an imminent threat to the state or the government, or they're terrorists or something like that, or inciting violence, which, yes, I get it. I totally understand those fringe, very, very fringe, less than 0.01% of channels out there, way less, like 0.0000000 repeating 1% channels, like way, way less. Those are the channels that I could totally see. It's like, yep, that's obvious. You don't want that kind of stuff on the platform. Totally get it. But when you start going this direction, it's playing a little too loosey-goosey with the rights and regulations of what people have. Let's see. It says, hi, Atraes. It looks like, dear Alyssa Mercante, as long as you keep talking, we will keep roasting your $% symbol. Didn't follow community guidelines. To help keep our community safe, we removed it from YouTube. Okay, so I watched this video, but full disclosure, I do not recall specifically what took place in it. But it was basically, the synopsis of the video was what the title was. It's like, you're going to keep running your mouth, we're going to keep roasting you. Like, that's literally what the video was and what he was saying. And that got taken down for what? Violating community guidelines. What we found: we think your content didn't follow our harassment policy. Shocking. You can see an example around 6:28, although there could be other instances. Well, at least they gave them a timestamp I'd be curious to see what he said at the 628 mark there. But again, I watched the video and didn't take away anything crazy. And then we have the next one. And look at this. They came through at the same exact time, by the way, 6:57 p.m., 6:57 p.m., another email. So coincidence that someone decided to mass false flag and report multiple videos all at once to ruin a channel, which is how YouTube works. If you get multiple strikes all together, demonetization kicks in and potentially removing your entire channel happens automatically if they all happen at the same time. So you can't tell me it's not an organized campaign against these people. Nobody says a quick reminder that Logan Paul is still on the platform. Eagle Eric says, nobody, that is true. Logan Paul being on YouTube is absurd. I mean, it's a very double standard with what's allowed and what's not. And this second email at the same time says, it looks like Alyssa Mercante is offering up her cheeks to old men that can pay for her lawsuit against Smash JT. Didn't follow community guidelines. What we found. Oh, guess what? Harassment policy. Content that contains unwanted sexualization isn't allowed on YouTube, which is curious because that's the same verbiage I got with my Alana Pierce video. And it's almost like whether it's Alyssa or Alana or some of their minions or a combination of all or some of them, have learned that there is a crack in the terms of service where they can use this catch-all phrase of content that contains unwanted sexualization. And that is up to interpretation of the person reporting it. So you can literally, theoretically, report anything to YouTube and say, I do not want this sexualization of me in that video. It's just a picture of you. It's a video of you talking. Yep. But the way he's looking at me, it just doesn't make me feel comfortable. And I feel like it gives a bad impression to the audience because it's there at the same time. YouTube is taking those videos down. Think about that. Think about that. And then we have a third one here. To Atraes. Hi, it looks like Alyssa Mercante reveals she's about to be jobless and homeless. Didn't follow community guidelines. Again, at 6:57 p.m., all three of these at the exact same minute of the day. Think about that. And this one, Alyssa Mercante reveals she's about to be jobless and homeless. She, as far as I recall, she did talk about that stuff. So why can't he react to that? Didn't follow our harassment policy. And oh, guess what? It's the same crack that I was telling you guys about in the last one. Unwanted sexualization isn't allowed on YouTube. Again, and that's in the eye of the beholder of the person reporting it, which means that if Alyssa Mercante sees a video or an image of herself in a thumbnail or in the video, she can theoretically report that, or her minions or simps could report that in mass false flag something and get it taken down and ruin a channel. And this is where it comes into, if they did this to Atraes, it stands to reason that obviously they've been doing this to me for probably months based off of what's happened to Toasty with the Mosty, Ryan Roger Athe, Polish Productions, and now Atraes. Obviously, they've been doing this to me. And it makes me wonder if there are somewhat safeguards in place and triggers behind the scenes with YouTube on the size of a channel or how much money a channel brings into YouTube, on if they delineate, oh, we can treat this channel differently than this channel, which is fucked up. Now, I'm not saying that like I should be in trouble too. I'm saying Atraes should not be getting screwed here if I'm not getting screwed. That's not fair to anyone. Like, because there's been videos that I've made talking about Alyssa, showcasing videos she's put out there and commentating on them and talking about them. Same thing that Atraes has done. But for some reason, his channel, the only difference is his channel's smaller and he's black. Make of that what you will, but his channel is now being penalized and he did nothing wrong. And it's really messed up. So we have Atraes on X now sharing this. And he said, this is the gif he always shares in his videos. It's like, oh, I'm going to dance on you. I'm going to dance on you. And I was like, that's curious. So I put the eyes here. And Dead Man Talking said, love the energy. Fuji said, did they reinstate channel monetization? He said, no, but Alyssa Mercante thinks this means I'm going to stop roasting her. Raging D-Head, hoes mad. Hoes mad. So it sounds like Atraes is getting a second wind here, no pun intended, and will be still pushing forward. But I do have concerns about his motivational state, we'll just say, and how long this lasts, because I think this might be a short burst of, yeah, no, I'm not going to let her get me down. But is that going to last for 90 days? 90 days is a long, long suspension, and it doesn't guarantee at the end of 90 days that you'll be back. And then we have one of Alyssa's simps and accounts that always gets retweeted by her. Kate Bush's partner says, what's that old saying? Put the fries in the bag. Talking about the situation of Atraes being demonetized. Trying to like almost say like, oh, tit for tat. You say that about Alyssa because she lost her job at Kotaku. We're going to take away your funding sources now too, because that's an eye for an eye. The difference being is Alyssa sucked at her job and we didn't get her fired. She got herself fired there. They are mass reporting and ruining people's livelihoods because they are incels living in their basement, hateful individuals that want to see the world burn. It's very different. It's very different. So that's the situation currently with Atraes. And again, my heart goes out for the situation with them. I think it's completely absurd, ridiculous, and this cannot stand. And again, I don't mean to focus this all on Atraes, but this is just the latest one that's happened. And we've called this for a while now, where they are trying to take down channels because they can't stand the truth getting out there. And censorship is their weapon. And they can't get to me. They can't get to Hypnotic. They can't get, obviously, to 8-Bit Eric. They can't get to anyone. So what do they start doing? Going after the smaller channels that they can get to. Look at what they're doing. Polish Productions had a video taken down today as well. Atraes got demonetized today. Ryan Roger Athay lost his channel and was deplatformed, never allowed to come back again. Toasty with the Mosty got lost monetization, had to go to Rumble. All these channels are all under 10,000 subscribers. So actually, Atraes was, I think, over 10,000. So he was getting up there, but still, in the grand scheme, smaller channels compared relative to the other channels that they really don't like. And it makes you wonder why YouTube's doing that. So I hope that cooler heads do prevail. And I do hope that YouTube sees what's happening and stops allowing this mass reporting, this brigade of false flags, because people are misusing the terms of service, and there are cracks in the terms of service that should not be allowed to be used. Especially if these people are putting pictures of themselves on the internet, people are allowed to commentate on public pictures of public figures. That's how it always works. That's literally the news. You can't stop the news. That's illegal. You can't do that. So anyways, I'll leave that there.